Hello and welcome to the Divas and Decaf podcast. I'm Sasha,
I'm Mumsy.
and we are here to recap, and react to episode 5, season 10, Bachelor in Paradise, summer 2025. Let's get right into it. So, the episode started with Faith making her entrance on the horse, and it caused us to reminisce a little bit about her entering on Gary's season when she came in on the motorcycle.
Yep, Gary, spelled Jerry. We saw her on that season. She bugged me then, and she kind of bugs me now.
Yeah, she's kind of like know-it-all-y.
Okay, that's why she bugs me.
Yeah.
She came in on her horse, and then they did a little recap on what she likes, and she went into that she likes horses, she likes motorcycles, and I had a complete flashback of Gary's season. Remember, didn't she come pulling up on a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with, and that she likes horses, nothing wrong with.
She's really out to make a point that she's so adventurous. Instead of just being adventurous, she has to make a point to like talk about it.
She's a try-hard. She wants.
Yeah.
She's more. It's more of a performative thing. It comes off towards me. My opinion, it comes off really performative, and she's really trying to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And that's why she bugs me.
I know what you mean. I thought she looked good though. She looks good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they all look good. Faith looks good. Yep.
So, okay, then moving on. They show a clip of Dale and Kat talking. They kind of seem to be making up, but then Kat asks if he would be open to going on any other dates, and he, again, is not straightforward with her, goes to his interview, says he's open to going on dates, but then he tells her he doesn't intend to go on any dates.
Okay, well, but before we even jump into that, do you remember how his last episode, he's just... there's no redeeming Dale from the last episode.
No,
right?
Absolutely not.
But then they start off this episode where he started off right away where he's like apologizing for his behavior, and now he's gonna switch and be the good guy all of a sudden. Now he's gonna be shown in a different light. Yeah. I still didn't buy it. I thought it was dumb, but that didn't take long to unravel.
No.
And dumb Dale came out again. He can't. He's got. I mean,
can't help it.
This guy has a personality disorder.
Yeah, it's actually pretty frightening. The way he's like dishonest and twists the truth around and gaslights, it's not good. It's really not good.
Yep.
Okay, what was your next note after that?
Well, I have Kim. They must have showed a clip of Kim because my next notes have Kim. He's interested. So Faith shows up and Kim's interested in Faith. Do you remember this? I have this written down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They kind of seemed interested in each other because she gets a date card.
She does get a gate card. I think I also have that, Kim is, I'm not sure what to make of Kim or if he's off or not because, so he's interested in Faith and that puts in question, what about his imaginary relationship with Leslie? I don't know where that puts that imaginary.
Yeah, they haven't really circled back to that.
No, I don't know if they're going to start a new imaginary relationship or maybe Faith's on board with this one and he can have somebody that reciprocates
I'm not so sure.
Imagination.
Not sure. Okay, my next note was that April thinks she's on spring break in college. Dale does take a body shot off her. It is pretty funny. We love April. And April says, quote, "I just couldn't help myself."
Okay. April. Okay, she kind of makes us laugh every episode. And the caption person or whoever's in charge of the captions, I don't know, on this show, they're on fire.
Yeah.
Because every time they show a caption, it makes us laugh out loud. And the caption, like you said, I also have the same note that she thinks she's on spring break. She's just going crazy. She's having fun. Good for her.
Yeah.
The caption person, after the whole taking a shot and getting crazy, it put April under her caption. It said April is biologically 67. Mentally 18.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. And then I also had a note that at that time, she was the only golden rocking a bikini. I do think Faith ended up wearing a bikini as well. But she's rocking her bikini. She's out there. We love to see it. She's showing off her skin. I don't know.
I think it's great.
She's living her best life out there.
Yep. She's just having fun in her bikini, and I think it's great.
Okay, then my next note was about Leah taking Jonathan on the date.
Yep.
Leah came in. They gave her a date card. She decides to take Jonathan. He's kind of the only one that's kind of up for grabs, I guess.
Yep, he's open, and so she,
Well, I guess Sean would be up for grabs kind of too. And then we skipped over. Jill decided to go home. She sent herself home.
yeah. Well, let's see. We're not that far yet. That's later in the episode, I believe.
I thought that was kind of in the beginning.
Um,
Well, anyway,
no, that's later on.
okay, Leia comes in. She decides to take Jonathan on the date. It sounded like she and Jonathan were friends before this. They have a little bit of a knowing of each other, so they decide to go on the date. Then they flash to Nancy, who came in the episode before, I think, just at the very end of the episode.
Yep.
She asks Gary on a date, much to Leslie and Natasha's dismay. I have as a note, Leslie, she kind of starts getting whiny in her interviews about it.
Oh, so when Nancy kind of came in at the end, and did they give her a date card right away to give to somebody? And then they didn't show it. So that's where I have a quote from Sasha here. Gary's a hot commodity, because when Nancy comes in, she's looking at Gary.
So is this his like third date? It's at least a second.
Did he go on? Well, he went on
a second date.
Yeah, this would be a second date with Nancy. I mean, Natasha wanted the date, but she didn't get a date.
So he's been on a date with Leslie and now Nancy.
Yep.
And I was just saying, Gary's a little bit of a playboy, but he kind of like gets away with it because he's like fun and energetic and everybody loves him. He's not really like a player, but he's working the field a little bit.
He is, but for some reason he can get away with it because he's kind of got like an innocence about him too,
right?
Like a kind of like a friendly, a fun, friendly vibe with him, not like in a he's being a player, but he's not doing it in a bad way.
Yeah,
he's a pretty nice guy. But yeah, Leslie's whining again. Now I feel bad. I do have empathy for her. Like, she likes Gary, and Nancy comes in, and Natasha, but Leslie. I can't. Part of the reason I don't like Leslie is also when she showed up on, was that that season they brought her into one of the Bachelor. We touched about this on the episode. Remember, she freaked who everybody.
She gave super bad advice. She came in on I think it was on Joey's season, and she came in and talked to one of the top two girls, and she gave them like really bad advice, and then they started reeling, like anxiety reeling after that, and we were like, Leslie, that was absolutely horrible advice.
Yeah, they brought a couple of the Goldens in, and one of them was Leslie, and she was talking to, I can't remember who it was at the time. They were in like the top 2 or 3 at the time, and she had a really bad experience, and she's like, you might think one thing, and she got in their head, about doubting themselves. They started spiraling. I don't know if the producers were trying to pull a fast one and cause some drama, or if they didn't know Leslie was going to do that, but she of course was whining and took her experience and then projected it on everybody else. So when I say I don't like Leslie, that's part of the reason. I can't get, that's how she is.
All right, you don't like Leslie, it's okay.
I'm just trying to explain. I'm sure she's fine. She looks good. I'm sure she's fine. But anyways, she's whining again because now Nancy is going to go on a date with, not Nancy. Yeah, she doesn't. Well, I have in my notes she doesn't want Faith to go on the date. Because they must both be looking to take him on a date. So that's what I have in my note.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. I guess I didn't catch that, if that was part of or if that was a thing.
Because then Kathy tells Leslie it's going to be a good date.
Yeah. Kathy, that wasn't, you're kind of putting your foot in your mouth, and then Leslie kind of just gave her a look, and she's like, you okay? And because obviously Leslie likes Gary, so Kathy read the room a little, but
yeah, whatever. I think that's why some people don't like Kathy, but she didn't read the room at all in that one.
Yeah. Okay, and then they flash back to Kat and Dale. They're still talking about, whether he'd go on a date or not. He at some point mentions that, he didn't stop a lot of things in his life to not go on dates and experience paradise to the fullest. He said something along those lines, and I was like, okay, Dale. Dale thinks pretty highly of himself. It's not a good look, Dale.
Yeah, it didn't take long. They started off the episode where they were all hunky dory and like back to being good, Kat and Dale, and it didn't take long at all to unravel with Dale. everything was schmoozed over for just a quick minute, and then that was about it. Dale started in on his stupidness again, which this is
Yeah.
going to be a cat. As long as you stick with them, this is what it's going to be like. So I don't know how
Yeah.
long that'll take for you to finally just
Hopefully
get rid
not
of
too
them.
much longer, but I guess we'll find out. Then they flash to Leia and Jonathan on their date. My note or my take on it was that it's going well. They're having a nice time. I think Leia is more into it than Jonathan, is kind of how I read it. I don't know if you had thoughts on that.
Yeah, she was trying to have like a heart to heart with him, and he kind of wasn't paying attention. She was getting irritated with it. He was like
Yeah.
spitting out his food, and
Yeah.
he didn't look like he was kind of absorbing the. He wasn't really like in tune. And,
Right. Right.
and she said something to him, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. So they're having a date, and then they decide to have this like bird and feather challenge.
Right,
This
right.
whole escapade thing. They all dressed up. The men were in charge of having mating calls to attract the females, and they would come out, and then the girls could get up and dance with them if they wanted, or the guys could like go and grab someone. So that was interesting. Oh, this is where Sean comes out in his feathery outfit, and he does not pull Jill. Instead, he has a performance with April, which is funny and very entertaining. But then Jill's like, okay, obviously he's not pulling me, and she's kind of like, yeah, this isn't, the people here aren't it for me. So then she ends up going home. Also, I had note that Kim was getting weird in his outfit.
Yeah, I have a few notes though before that we jump to the feather ritual. If we are going in a row here, um, Jeremy was still. Now they had a little clip of Jeremy. He's still playing Bailey.
This is going on during the feather challenge.
Oh, okay, okay. And I have a quote. You know, Dale's thrown some jokes out there. I also have written down that his sense of humor is juvenile, and
Yeah.
he has such an ego problem, but he's like such a juvenile.
Yes, exactly.
Quote from Bubba: Dale and Jeremy are battling out for the biggest loser here.
Yeah, we were watching it real time with him, and that was a pretty good way to put it.
Yep.
So I have during the feather challenge, things are going on, and then they're also showing us some behind the scenes. Jeremy is talking to Brian with his mic off. He asked to have his mic off, but of course I can still hear him.
Yep.
And then he says he doesn't want to win, so there's going to be a winner for this feather bird challenge. And he doesn't want to win with Bailey. He regrets not giving Susie a rose, and he says this to Jeremy unmiked, but you can still hear it. And of course they put captions on it so we can read it even if you can't hear it. Thank you, producers. And then they show Brian. Brian's in an interview, and he says Brian says Jeremy has been feeding Bailey a lie, and it put a really bad taste in his mouth. And then I kind of thought, I was like, okay, maybe Brian will make a little bit of a comeback in my book if he's going to stick up for Bailey. I put some question marks next to that. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, I've said we don't care for Brian. All of a sudden, Brian steps up. He's going to be a good guy now.
Yeah,
he steps up, and he doesn't think that he's right with the whole Jeremy thing. But that's probably the extent of his brightness right there.
Right, exactly.
He didn't like what Jeremy confessed to him. I have that written down. Meanwhile,
you're right.
I don't know if you remember this part. Meanwhile, they're showing, as you just said, like the captions where he doesn't want to win. He doesn't want to.
Jeremy doesn't.
Jeremy doesn't want to win. He's still, he loves Susie still. Blah blah. Meanwhile, they flash to Bailey, and she's saying to a group of people that she's ready to get engaged should get engaged at the end of this.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
they are so far apart on what's going on in their relationship.
Ugh. Yeah, this is not good. And Bailey's gonna watch this back at some point and be like, wow. Okay, so then the challenge is still going on, but then they do some flashes to Nancy and Gary on their date.
Yep.
They're basically having a psychedelic experience.
Yeah, so during this feather ritual here, which is basically the men dress up and come out, and then the girl's supposed to come out and dance with them, and the contest is Hannah and
they do flash back to that after Nancy and Gary.
But I was like, that's the whole point of it, is what I'm explaining. So like, and then the winner what is the? Oh yeah, the winner gets
The
like
winning couple with the most chemistry gets a night in the Bachelor in Paradise VIP suite.
So that's
without camera. I mean, they'll be on camera a little bit, but then they get to spend the night without cameras.
Right, and that's why Jeremy's saying he doesn't want to win this because he doesn't want to go to the room with Bailey.
Yeah,
he'd rather he just wants to date Susie in his imagination. Also, we got
Yeah.
a couple men on here that have some imaginary relationships.
Yes, they definitely.
I think it potentially is a problem, but I
Yes.
guess it's I guess it's for the ratings. But anyways, yeah. So the only people that aren't participating in this feather ritual is Gary and Nancy because they're meanwhile on a date.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're having on their date they go to a place and are served cacao drinks.
Yep. And yeah, they have an experience, that's for sure. And then the editors go haywire with it, and
yeah, I was wondering for a second there if I have written down that they're drinking some spiked cacao drinks.
Yeah, potentially.
Because it kind of looked like they were tripping on some LSD or something.
Yeah.
they were making some movements and seeing some things, and
yep.
The producers had to even put a caption saying what we gave them was in fact legal.
Yep.
So I don't know if it was like a placebo effect and they thought they were
I don't know what was going on.
Dabbling in some psychedelics and it got in their head.
It very well could have been. Then they flash back to the feather challenge, and this is where they bring Alicia. I don't know which way to say it.
I don't know which way to say it either. It's spelled one way, and I can't tell what they're saying, so I don't know. Alicia.
She comes in. She's got a feather outfit. She's ready to go for feather. She goes and sits with the girls. And then first they bring out Andrew for his mating call. He comes out. He did a nice job. He went straight for Alex. They were doing some cuteness, I guess, but he got some points docked off because he had the socks on still.
Well, there was a reason for it. I don't remember what it was.
They had like a quote on him or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I have notes that Brian Priza, they did good when Brian came out and he went for Priza. Then Dale comes out. He dances with Kat a little bit, and then Alicia comes and kind of like steals him away, and he dances with Alicia, and they kind of get to talking. And Kat's not too happy about it. So
yeah, I have in my notes, Kat, red flags are a flying.
Yeah.
Because they did a little intro on Alicia. She was on Grant's season. We did not see Grant's season, did we?
No.
And I don't know her.
No.
They did a little intro on her, and the only thing I got from that in my notes is she's looking for a dog dad.
Yeah, pretty much.
But other than that,
and I think she was Miss California.
Okay.
So.
So Dale sees Alicia, and he's definitely interested.
Yeah, for sure. And then he's talking to her right in front of Kat and all the other girls. Then next came out Sean. He did his little performance with April. Priza and Brian end up winning the challenge for the most compatibility. So they win the night in the VIP suite. And then I had a little note that they were growing on me as a couple. I was like, maybe they're compatible. Maybe they might be growing on me a little bit. We'll get to that in a second. But so I had some hope for them. But yeah. Then they have like a bird after party. Dale talks to Alicia. He drops his 3 minutes of almost fame that he was in the NFL. And Bubba says, that's definitely not the first time he's dropped that pickup line.
I have written down, Dale, does that actually work? I mean, wow.
It seemed to work on her.
Okay.
She was like, oh, cool. What team did he play for?
If that works on some girl,
and he said
marry
it immediately.
Her.
He said it immediately.
No, he can't. Within like introduction, they're like introducing themselves, and that's like his
I used to play in the NFL.
That's his go-to line.
Yeah. And he thinks pretty highly of himself because he played a couple years.
You know what? If Alicia is impressed with that, marry this girl. Because if you find somebody that's stupid,
him and Alicia would be a good couple because I think they're both kind of, as you put it, they're both kind of shallow.
Yeah.
And they're both like, he played in the NFL. He thinks he's pretty special. She was Miss California. She probably brags about that. I think. Well,
I like Alicia. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but I like her a lot better than I like Dale. She does.
Yeah,
now,
that's true.
Very pretty girl. Yeah. I like her 10 times better than I like Dale. So like, even if she is shallow, she still don't compare to Dale. And I also have written down Kat. If we we can't help you if you can't see this. Like, nobody can help you if
I
you can't see this.
I know, Kat.
Because he's openly like kind of flirting with her and dancing with her in front of Kat. I mean, amongst all the other things that he has done thus far.
Right. Okay, and then this is where Jill starts her crashing out, as Bubba put it. I thought she looked great in her black feather outfit. Her outfit might have been my favorite. I thought she looked really good. So yeah, she's crashing out. She decides to eliminate herself. This is when she does it.
We kind of predicted heartache for Jill all along. Yeah. Things weren't going super good.
Poor Jill.
Yep, and she did say, quote, "I don't want to be around men that don't value me," unquote. Now listen, well, that's exactly what the men on this season do. So you're better off leaving Jill and finding somebody else.
Good job, Jill.
Yeah, so I did feel bad because she was probably, she was trying to find something. She's gonna grow on me, but yeah. So she leaves.
She also said that she didn't want to like change herself to like fit the people there, and so I thought that I was like, good for her for staying true to herself. She knows her person's not here. She's gonna head out.
Yeah, and I don't really think there was anybody that was a good match for her there, anyways.
No, right, exactly. So then they flash to Brian and Priza in the suite there, the VIP suite, and
because they won.
Yep, and he's ready to flock, and Priza kind of says, that's not happening, and then she kind of starts trying to talk to him about something else, and then he's throwing a big tantrum because he's not gonna get to flock. And
okay, he is giving such D-bag vibes.
Yeah, it was not good.
I mean, like, what? I don't even think they're 2 weeks in here at this point.
Yeah,
and she's happy they got the room because she wants to just have some quiet time and get to know him a little bit better without the cameras.
Exactly.
She's not thinking of anything more than that. That's kind of her idea, is just kind of having a nice quiet night, talking and stuff. And he's got the opposite on his mind, and he starts acting childish and juvenile. And he's like, well, that's happening. We're doing this. And she's like, no, we're not. Yeah. So I don't, Brian, again, you're just showcasing why you're single.
Yeah, exactly. It was very frat boy. It was very immature.
Yeah, he hasn't got out of the frat house yet.
Yeah, it was very much, are you looking for an emotional connection, Brian? We have no clue. And then Priza, she actually was in an interview crying because of it, because he was kind of just being a jerk to her. So yeah, Priza, you can do better as well.
Yeah, and that's a red flag there.
Yeah,
he gave us red flags when he introduced himself, so that has not changed.
Then they flash back to Dale, and he's still talking to Alicia. It was so funny because we were watching this with my brother, and we were talking about how narcissistic Dale was and how he thinks so highly of himself, and Bubba goes, I bet he thinks that he'd be just a great father, and he just kind of said it as a joke. And then literally 3 seconds later, Dale is on the show telling Alicia,
quote,
I know, yeah, quote, word for word, I know I'd be a great father.
So that made us burst out laughing. Dale, also, don't forget, he's got word vomit they can't get enough airtime with Dale because he's got word vomit. I know that they can edit the show and like put somebody in a bad light, but when you're giving him the ammo like that,
yeah,
I mean, he's got word vomit coming out of his mouth left and right. He's talking to Wells,
yeah,
and telling him, quote, me and Alicia are on the same, he's got this thing going with Kat, and all of a sudden, he's going to switch it up. Now Alicia comes in.
Alicia's composed, so
according to Dale.
So he's ready to jump ship.
Yeah, so he says him and Alicia, they're on the same page. He's got word vomit all over the place. So, I mean, Kat, you better run.
Yeah, so then Jonathan goes and tells Kat what Dale had said behind her back was that he wanted to go on another date to make Kat sweat, which is true because they flashed to it and it's recorded. It's on camera that he said that. He definitely happened to say that. Kat's like, well, what the heck? So Kat goes and asks Jeremy, hey, did you say that? Or did Dale say that? And Jeremy lies straight to her face, says that he didn't. Then he turns around and goes to Dale and stitches on Jonathan because Jeremy and Dale are about on the same level of, I don't even know what word can describe them at this point, but we'll just say idiocy and toxicity. And so, yeah, Kat ends up going back to Dale and confronting him. Dale's like, we need to count on the facts and the points of contact, and he's acting like a complete idiot and denying that he ever said this, even though he's on camera saying it. So he's gaslighting again.
Do they not care, or in the moment do they forget? How do you're on, not only on camera, but how many people are watching this? Like, you can play this. I don't get it.
I don't understand either.
Are they that stupid?
I think they're that narcissistic that they think they'll just get away with it.
I mean,
because that's.
I mean, poor Jonathan.
How do you say something on camera, then turn around and tell someone you didn't say that when you were just recorded saying that? Like, in what person's right mind? They must just think that they're so great that it'll work out in their favor.
So poor Jonathan comes in. He comes in to try to do the rescue again.
Mm-hmm.
Tells him what Dale actually said. Like you said, Jeremy just, so, Kat asked, he just bold-faced lies about it on camera, even though it was in fact said, and then Jonathan gets blamed for being the liar.
Yep, he does.
When in fact he was not lying.
Nope,
that was true. The truth. But of course, Jeremy and Dale, they're gonna gaslight him.
Yep.
And then blame it on him.
So Kat's choosing to believe Dale and Jeremy at this point. It's not good. Okay. Then Sean also gets in on talking to Alicia. He also went up to Alicia, starts bragging about himself, just like Dale did. He talks about how he's empathetic. He gets that from his mom, blah, 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 blah. So he's trying to get in on Alicia as well.
Yeah, he's laying it on thick with Alicia. Him and Dale they both are trying to hit it off with Alicia, even though Dale's got a connection with Kat, I guess.
Yes. And then next up was Kim. He starts crashing out about who he's going to give his rose to. He's like super worked up about who he's going to give his rose to. Kim, you have the rose. You don't have to fret. This is the week where you get to relax and you get to hand out a rose. And he starts crashing out about it.
Well, like I said, I think he's a little off. Now, back up a second.
Yeah.
Remember when, after this whole feather ceremony, Gary and Nancy come back from their date.
Oh, yeah.
They've got some kind of placebo effect. They think that they've been on psychedelics, and everybody there also thinks that they've gone and gotten high.
Right. They asked them, "Are you high? Did you eat edibles? Are there edibles?"
I think they think they did. I just had to add that note because I had it in my notes because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny
how this affected them, and they did not, in fact, have anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kim gets himself so worked up about who he's going to give the rose to, his imaginary girlfriend or his other imaginary girlfriend, that he thinks he's having a heart attack.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's not funny, but it's so stupid. He was not having a heart attack. Kim was fine.
No, he went and got checked out. His heart was fine.
But in the meantime, he missed his date with Faith.
Yeah, he did. He was gone when Faith was going to ask him, so she ends up taking Kathy.
Yeah.
And Kathy conquers her fear of the horses. I also have a note randomly. Well, it's probably not random. They were probably showing Dale and Kat. But I have Dale is living in his own world where he lies and gaslights everyone and twists everything in his favor. And he thinks he's going to get away with it.
Well, and then at some point he must have said to her, because I have this written down, he told Kat clearly, ? Like, he must have gaslit her and said, like, I clearly told you that.
Oh my God.
I can't keep up with it. Yeah, I can't keep up with his word vomit. I can't keep up with it. Even my notes, even writing notes, I can't keep up with his word vomit.
Yeah, it's not good. Okay, then Alicia has her date card. She decides she's more interested in Dale. She kind of confesses at some point, but she ends up taking Sean because he's more available than Dale. To like get a rose, and Dale's got his thing with Kat, so she takes Sean on the date. They seem to have some chemistry. They seem to have a nice time. It was kind of like a more intimate type of date. Yeah.
Faith, when she took Kathy on her date, though, I have to mention this because I have it in my notes. She was still being a know-it-all, even on the horse ride.
Do a half halt.
Okay.
She kept telling her to do a half halt.
Kathy knows nothing about horses. She doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then Kathy's like, "What? what? She asked her what like 5 times. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, because Faith likes to project herself into being superhero.
And I don't mind Faith. I don't really have an issue with her, but she definitely likes to be know-it-all-y, and she really wants to come off as this adventurous type of girl that's really down for all adventure and danger.
She thinks she comes off as everybody wants to be her.
Yeah.
So, my personal opinion.
Okay, did you have any other notes about the episode before we talk about the preview for the next episode?
No, the preview, well, the last preview, we'll talk about the preview for the next episode, but is it for the next episode? Because the last one I thought was for this episode. So they like are giving us teasers, but we haven't seen that because we kind of touched on how they're not going to bring new people in, Well, that was apparently in the future because I thought it was going to be this episode we're talking about.
Yeah, so basically they show that I think at this coming up the rose ceremony that's coming up, Jesse's going to tell them, hey, now we're in it to possibly win $500,000, and they're all shocked. I wrote that it says the possibility of $500,000, so I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that's going to be kind of a catch. Do you have to choose love or money, or like how does this work? But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I kind of now after seeing the teaser again, that's why I kind of got out of it too. Is maybe they're gonna get. I don't know. We'll have to see. It looks like now. It kind of looks like that. Are they going to take the money or take the person?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I guess we will find out.
Take the money. It never works out.
Okay. There's been a few that have worked out.
Chances are very low.
From Bachelor in Paradise, there have been some couples that have worked out.
Have you or have you not seen the men on this season?
Yeah, but Jess and Spencer might work out. If anybody's going to work out, it's probably going to be them.
Yeah.
They've been no drama. They're over there happy campers. They have absolutely no drama. They haven't even got any screen time because they're too busy filming Dale and Jeremy and Brian being complete idiots.
Yeah, we're seeing two sides of Brian. Brian, good guy, who's gonna stick up for Bailey. And then Brian, frat boy Brian. Yeah. Every time he's with his girlfriend.
Yeah, so to circle back to that, I thought Brian might be making a little slight comeback in my book, but then after his temper tantrum with Priza, he went straight back down. So.
Yeah, and we still haven't got to see. Now they've showed this in the preview where it is evidently, which it always does, is going to come out all Jeremy's stupid talk because again, you're on camera, but apparently don't realize it, and that's going to come. It comes out one way or the other. So we thought it would have been this episode. It was not. We'll see if it's on the next episode that we're going to watch, and we'll see. We'll review that. And
I guess we'll find out.
So.
All right. Well, I think that's all we had. So let's wrap it up and make sure to tune in for our recap and reaction to the next episode. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.